Dan and Dago is back, and so are the Compas. They're feeling the energy after the mini bye weekend. Even Alberto! And while it wasn't his fault, but that we're back on a Whiskey Sour Wednesday. And yes, it wasn't Hilberto's fault that the Chargers lost to the Chiefs. But man, did we have them on the ropes. They were emptying throwing every punch. Like Chris Harris Jr. said, we'll just have to see him in the playoffs. So welcome back to another edition of Whiskey Sour Wednesdays. Go grab a cold one and have a good time with their compas, because today they are speaking with the great Chris Harris Jr. He's today's grand guest on Compas on the Beat. Boom! How do you like them apples? The Compas have delivered with another amazing guest. You know Chris Harris is one of the best trash talkers in the game, so you want to stick around for that interview. But before we get to the show, make sure you subscribe to Compas on the Beat on YouTube, where you'll see our interviews with Joey Bosa, Rashawn Slater, and Austin Eckler. Also, subscribe to Compas on the Beat on Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Compas on the Beat. Now, it's time! Let's get to the best damn podcast in the universe. Play the music, Nando!
Welcome to Compas on the Beat, or should I say ho, ho, ho. Welcome to Compas on the Beat. I am Fernando Ramirez, Chargers reporter for Sports Illustrated. With me, as always, is my Grinch, my co-host, my tag team partner, Gilbert Manzano, OC Register, LA Daily News. Ho, ho, ho. What's up, bro?
Fernando, how long have you been practicing this new intro? I kind of like it, different. I was hoping for a little more ho ho ho's. You had like 2 or 3 in there. I needed more energy on the ho ho ho's. Give me something better.
Ho, ho, ho. What's up, bro?
Okay, I like that. All right, I guess I'm feeling the hat, the Christmas hat. It's the 1 week you could do it, so fine. You weren't one of these these lame-os that try to do it like in November. So credit to you, I accept it.
I honestly waited until now because I was like, that's exactly what I thought. I'm like, Gilbert will not accept this unless it's like the week before Christmas or a couple of days before Christmas. But obviously I had to do it today. Big show. I know and that's why I dressed up today kind of like Santa in a sense, because Charger fans and obviously fans of Compas on the Beat are always like, what are you going to bring us for Christmas? What kind of interview are you going to get us? Dan and Dago mentioned it at the beginning. We got Chris Harris Jr., Chargers cornerback. He's been one of the best slot corners, if not the greatest slot corner in NFL history. So that's going to be a great interview, Gilbert. That's what we try and do at Compas on the Beat. We're in a giving mood. We want to give you guys the best of the best. So that's why we got Chris, and I'm very excited about that interview, Gilbert.
Yeah, no, same here. Chris Harris Jr., one of the best trash talkers in the NFL, one of the best interviews in the NFL. And we kind of got a reminder of that on after Thursday's game. I know it didn't work out for Chargers fans against the Chiefs, but you heard Chris Harris Jr. saying, man, they're going to play this team 3 times. That is a prediction. So if it is 3 times, you know what that means, a playoff game. And I think I'm on board for that.
You know why I'm on board for that? Q39 too. That means we get Q39 part 2 in less than a season. That's honestly great, but it also would mean fireworks, Gilbert, because man, these 2 games that these 2 teams have played have been literally fireworks. The only thing I'm disappointed in, Gilbert, is that this game wasn't the Sunday night game, because I think if they would have given these teams a little bit longer to kind of get a little bit healthier, this would have been an even better game. But hey, overtime, Travis Kelce with that big run at the end, the way the 2 quarterbacks dueled, I mean, you can't ask for anything better than the way these 2 teams really slugged it out on Thursday Night Football.
Yeah, no, it kind of sucks that the Chargers weren't at full strength with Derwin James, and I get it. The Chiefs are missing a lot of starters also on defense, so we can't make too many excuses for the Chargers. But man, Derwin James is one of the best players in the NFL. Just to watch that matchup against Travis Kelce would have been pretty intriguing, and kind of just to see how the story would have changed. Like, I'm sure Kelce still would have gotten some of his good catches, but not that many, right? He got most of his yards in the 4th quarter and overtime. Poor tackling, and Derwin James, one of his strengths is tackling. He would have been in there to be an eraser as well. So that's kind of the bad part. So I'm with Chris Harris, man. If we see this game one more time, I hope Derwin James is healthy and on the field because he is the biggest difference maker for this team. And it was a reminder again. I'm sure you don't need any more reminders that this team doesn't do well without Derwin James. But that one game kind of was like, just imagine if Derwin's on the field or even Asante Samuel Jr. because man, the Chiefs have a lot of weapons, and if you don't have your secondary healthy, that really hurts you, and that's what kind of happened to the Chargers ultimately. But it wasn't just a defense, man. Justin Herbert and the offense had the ball when the game was tied, and they sat on it and did a punt. So the small things like that add up. But overall, it was still an exciting game. For the most part, it was like 14-13 for a long time. People couldn't score, which was crazy for these two teams, and then it kind of just blew up at the end. So electric atmosphere at SoFi Stadium. It felt like a playoff game. Thursday night prime time. It kind of was ugly to start with Donald Parham, but good to hear Donald Parham is at home, safe and sound. So overall, this game was a roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah, no, T's and P's to Donald Parham. Obviously, Brandon Staley told us on Monday that that Donald is doing great, that he's safe and sound, which is all you want to hear. He also called him day to day, but I'm kind of like, okay, like let's slow down a little bit. It's probably going to be a while before we see Donald Parham back on the field for the Chargers, if at all, because I mean that was just a scary injury. What happened to him on that Thursday night, but Gilbert, one of my biggest takeaways, and I wrote about it for the Chargers, is they know that they can compete with this team. And I know they beat them back in October or in September, but that team is a lot different than the team that they faced on Thursday. The team that they faced on Thursday was on a 6-game winning streak. They had a lot of momentum coming in, but man, they really went toe to toe against probably the best team in the AFC, and they really slugged it out. It was a great game. It was a great atmosphere. That, Gilbert, is what I call a thriller. That is this. That is this. That is what that is. That is a great game. Man, it was a lot of fun to watch. It was everything that you wanted. Now, the only thing is I can tell that some of these people don't watch any Charger games, and I get it. But don't I guess some of the people on national TV, I'm like they're commenting on this. They're like, "Oh, Brandon Staley gave away the game." And I'm kind of like, you guys really haven't been paying attention, but then you guys want to interject. It's like that year when Stephen A. Smith was like, I think Hunter Henry's going to have a huge game this Sunday. And they're like, or this Thursday. And they were like, dude, Hunter Henry's been out the whole year with a torn ACL. Like, that's kind of what I've gotten from all this, because it's the way Staley's been coaching this year. I mean, they're aggressive, but it's like he said, we're aggressive, but I don't gamble. I do not gamble on these 4 downs. I'm not gambling the game away. I do it in a secure place. The way, and then the thing is, the reason why I feel like people are blaming him for these 4 downs is because you saw the end result. Before that, during the game, it was smart. Most of the time that he went for it, it was very smart. The only time that I think they said that the only one that nobody agreed with was the one before halftime. When Staley told us why he went for it, I agreed. I was like, yeah, I mean, yeah, you would have been up 11 points. And let's not forget, Jared Cook dropped that pass right before on 2nd down. He had one where he turned around. He could have walked into the end zone. I mean, obviously, you don't want to put the blame on one person because it's a team effort. But I mean, they've had too many drops this year, and they need to secure that, especially with the playoffs coming. But I really thought that the Chargers coaching staff called a very good game on offense. On defense, you just can't do it when Derwin's out. I mean, there's really nothing you can do. I mean, there's not a lot of players on that team that can cover Travis Kelce. They have one guy, but that one guy just he was out for the rest of the game, and there's nobody else that can really cover him. So I understand it, but man, I think the biggest takeaway from the Chargers is we can compete with these guys and we can beat these guys. So that's a positive if you're a Chargers fan and if you're a Chargers player as well.
Yeah. Before I get to the Staley thing on the 4th down debate, 2 things I noticed that the Chargers have the Chiefs' respect and attention was a tweet from Tyrann Mathieu at the end saying, man, the Chargers have something good here going for them. So that tells you they just played a really good game. They lost to them in week 3. And then the Patrick Mahomes going to the sideline after the overtime victory, pumping his chest. And I think I can't read lips, Fernando, but I think he said, I'm better. So I think the whole debate about Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes himself, it's kind of getting to him. He wanted to remind people that he's still the better quarterback. And yes, he is. and he's a proven winner, and he showed it in that game that he is better. So he got kind of motivated for that game. A year or two, Justin Herbert already getting under the skin of Patrick Mahomes without saying anything to him. I think that's respect right there. And people are saying, "Oh, Justin Herbert would never do anything like that." Get out of here! Like, who cares? I love the trash talk. I love the rivalry. Yes, Herbert won't do stuff like that, but I love that Mahomes went there and taunted the bench, and it was a sign of respect. I thought, saying, "Yeah, quarterback, your quarterback is good. This team is really good, but we're still the top dog." So I love that overall. Fernando's showing the tweet because he's a visual learner. Chargers got a good thing. What a game from Tyrann Mathieu. But yeah, they really have the respect and the attention of the Chiefs. And going to the Brandon Staley debate now on the fourth down. You're right, Fernando. Like, where has everybody been? He's been doing this every single game of the week or of the year, and for the most part, early on in the season, they were getting the fourth downs. They were winning games. They beat the Chiefs that same way in week 3, and he was showered praise. Oh, he's a coach of the year. He's a guy that's changing the culture, and now the fourth downs backfire. Like, it's Brandon Staley's fault. What is he doing? What is he thinking? Take the point. I'm like, are these just different people and different crowds he's pissing off, or like are we all just changing our tunes? And it's very strange to me. And the thing that people are forgetting, they're making it a debate about analytics and numbers and saying, oh, Brandon just looking at the sheet and somebody's telling him upstairs, hey, the numbers say go for it. It's not just about that. It's about he keeps telling you, freaking Justin Herbert's on the field, Keenan Allen's on the field, Austin Eckler's on the field. You don't think these guys could get you 2 yards? Some of the best playmakers in the NFL. That's what he's thinking. And who's playing against Justin Herbert? The Kansas City Chiefs, who score touchdowns, not field goals. So be aggressive against that team. So it's all these things. Yeah, the numbers say go for it, but also keep in mind your team, who you're playing, and also kind of who do you trust? Your gut feeling. Like John Harbaugh asked his players, "Do you want to go for it on the 2-point conversion to win the game?" That wasn't analytics. That was more like, "Hey team, let's talk it out. What do you think? Let's do it or not." Most of the time, the players will say yeah. So you're kind of putting your players in a tough position. But that was a group effort. That wasn't analytics. So people are getting pissed off, and I just like that these coaches are giving the numbers a chance, but then also going off of their own feeling and saying, okay, what team do I have? Situation, how much time on the clock, all these things come into play, but it's always a debate about analytics and the numbers and following a robot or whatever, or a math wizard. So a lot goes into being a head coach, and the thing that I like about Brandon Staley, he's consistent at least. When he's gonna be 4th and 2 and the game's on the line, he's gonna go for it. So yeah, I think it's kind of a silly debate, and credit to Brandon Staley for taking the heat and saying that hey, so I'll set you up, Fernando, and his players are backing him up too. Brandon Staley has the support from the players, and there's no divide in the locker room. So Keenan Allen, take it away. Or was it a video or a tweet, Fernando? I'm forgetting.
No, it's a tweet. It's from our good friend Eric Williams, who it was so great to see him last week, and we'll get into a little bit more into that before we move on to the next thing. But Keenan Allen was asked about it, and he said, "Leave the game in our hands. I don't want to kick the ball, watch it, and hope. I'd rather be out there and let us do it." You know why he's saying this though, Gilbert? And I mean, I've been,
He's been hoping so many times.
He's lived it. He's been on this team for 9 seasons, and this is what I'm telling people. I mean, Keenan Allen last Thursday was hopeful, but how do I want to put this? He was positive during not a very, I mean, you had just lost a game, and Keenan Allen was positive. Gilbert, how many times haven't we heard, yeah, it was the same old story, or yeah, this happened, or yeah, that happened. Oh my God, I can't believe this is happening again. That's the thing that kind of struck me about Keenan, is that he was so positive after the game, and he said exactly what I just said. He knows that this season might be a little bit different than in the past. In the past, they would have lost most of these games. They would have blown the lead against Pittsburgh. They would have blown the lead against Cincinnati. They would have blown some of these games, and right now they'd be sitting at 500, thinking about what's going to happen during the offseason or stuff like that. That's not happening right now. Right now, they're fighting for a playoff spot. They're trying to see what seed they're going to be. And that's the thing. Keenan's been around this for so long that he likes that Brandon Staley's going for it, because Keenan not only trusts himself, he trusts the coaching staff, but he trusts the players on the field. and he trusts the coach's decision making. So if one of the if the veteran of this team is telling you, I'm all for this, you have to listen. And Keenan saying, we want the ball in our, we want to decide the fate of this team, of this game. We don't want it decided for us. And I'm 100% with them. I think it's smart. I think obviously, like Brandon said, I'm not gambling, and he's not. He hasn't gambled yet a game on fourth down. I mean, maybe if you want to say that the Baltimore Ravens game, but that one was already kind of out of hand. But he's not gambling any of these games away. So I really think that they're not gambling. It's just all calculated stuff, and I think they're doing good things. And I think some of this stuff is going to help them, especially in the playoffs, because in the playoffs you have to be aggressive, especially because it's do or die. So I'm totally with this, and I don't think there's any I don't think there's any I don't think there's a negative to this, because if you have the players' trust and you have, and like they say, sometimes the ball rolls our way, sometimes it doesn't. They understand it. So I think that's kind of the biggest positive, is that the coaches and the coaching staff and the players are united in this effort.
Yeah, and you got to keep in mind, I think the players have been good at this year of just kind of like taking some of the blame. Like it wouldn't come down to a fourth down if you just caught the ball near the end zone. Mike Williams had some drops. Jared Cook had the drop that you mentioned. So Keenan Allen is always saying, I don't like the response because it's a cliche, but he's always saying we got to execute. And sometimes it's a simple, well, it sounds simple, but sometimes it just comes down to executing, and that's what you got to do. And they weren't doing that in that game to get those yards that kind of seem easy at times to get, and they were just miscues there. So, I think for Keenan to feel, kind of, at least a good amount of positivity from that game shows you that he thinks like they're close. They're getting closer to the Chiefs, and maybe in 2018 when they beat them in KC, maybe that felt like a fluke. This one feels like, oh, we could hang around with this team for years to come. Like we got Justin Herbert. We got some key pieces here. This feels like we could finally be a contender in this division, and not just kind of, oh, we won this one and we're a nice surprise here. To go 1-1, one win in Arrowhead Stadium and then an overtime loss at home. Those are pretty good results for the Chargers against the Chiefs for the season series. But not turning the page now, Fernando. They're in the middle of a playoff race, and that's a good feeling too, Fernando. They play the Texans. I know they're kind of banged up with the COVID stuff, and the Texans are not that good, but take care of business against Houston. And it's because they lost a game and they fell down one spot, right? They're in the 6th seed, Fernando. They're 8-6 right now. The Colts are 8-6. The look at the Bengals, man. They shot up to 8-6 on the 4th seed because they got the division right there. That division is kind of falling behind. The Ravens are out of the playoff picture right now. The Bills are number 7. So yeah, the Chargers in the middle of it, but they can't fall behind. If you lose one game, man, you could be easily out of the playoffs. So they got to take care of business against the Texans, man. And it was pretty chaotic on Monday with the whole Joey Bosa being out and adding 7 players to the COVID list. So that could hurt their depth. But again, it's the Texans, take care of business like they did against the Giants. Remember that game?
Yeah, no, definitely. And I mean, the interesting part about this whole thing, and I mean, the one thing is that everybody's like, protect Justin Herbert at all costs. I guess as long as you have Justin, you're going to be fine. But looking at this playoff picture, so obviously people are asking, well, how are people jumping how are some teams jumping other teams? What's going on with this? Basically, the way you're looking at it is because the Colts, the Chargers, the Buffalo Bills, and the Baltimore Ravens are all tied at 8-6. You have to look at the conference record. So conference record tells you that the Colts are 7-3. They're ahead of the Chargers. Chargers are 5-4. The Buffalo Bills are 5-5, and the Baltimore Ravens are 5-5. So basically, the Chargers just need to win out, and they'd be 8-3 in the conference, because like division games count in conference, right? Yeah. It is. Yeah, so they would be 8-4 in conference, and that's going to help you a lot, especially like we've been saying, against some of these teams and the seeding and everything. So all the Chargers right now, their play, like going to the playoffs, is in their hands. They decide their fate, and that's why Keenan said on Friday or on Thursday, we just need to get some guys back, get some guys healthy, and it's all on us. We can do this. So that's your playoff picture right now for the AFC. The Chiefs obviously have taken over the first seed. Interesting game, Gilbert, over the weekend. The Colts and the Patriots. Who would have thought that the Colts would essentially beat the Patriots in the way they did? That was pretty interesting. Matt Jones finally came back down to earth after playing so well for a couple of weeks. Tennessee lost to Pittsburgh. Have you been seeing this thing, Gilbert, where like teams are like dancing or meeting and in the opposing teams what's their logo? I'm like, what kind of crap is this? Like I don't get why teams are doing that.
Yeah, and it hasn't really worked out the last couple of weeks because it was the Titans, the ones that did it to the Steelers, they lost.
Yeah.
And then the Raiders to the Chiefs, and they lost. So yeah, don't do that. But Fernando, me looking at this, I'm liking the picture right now. I kind of hope it stays that way because that means a trip to Nashville, and I had fun last time I went to Nashville. So
I've actually never been.
You'll enjoy it. If your brother goes, he will definitely enjoy it because they play a lot of country in that city. As
he told me he's like you and Gilbert run the risk of me not coming back.
That's not a risk for me. I definitely want him to stay in Nashville. He could become
you
a
don't.
country
You
star.
love him too much. You want him back.
I want what's best for Dan and Dave. He could become a country star out there, Fernando. Let him go. Let him stay out there.
That's a good one. You know what's funny is that I'm like, oh God, going to New England would be like Gilbert. Cold. I think you'd freeze.
Yeah, I did that already in 2018. I think it was like not minus, but it was like 13 degrees out there. I was like, oh man, I've never been anywhere colder than that.
Oh my God. Yeah, no. So right now it'd be Nashville, or to go play the Tennessee Titans. That would be a good one. Let's take a quick peek at the NFC. The NFC is kind of wild, don't you think, Gilbert?
Yeah.
There's so many teams vying for that. Like it's kind of like the AFC, except for these teams. Now. Yeah, these teams are like at 500 and below. Man, watch out for the San Francisco 49ers. Oh crap, they're really coming, and they're playing on Thursday night this week. They play the Tennessee Titans.
Hey, that was actually my NFC West champion prediction.
It was
before the season started, but I chose the Seahawks to go to the Super Bowl. So what do I know? I guess.
Hey, the Seahawks aren't far back. I mean, they're 5-8. Yeah. If they can beat, well, I mean, obviously this is coming out on Wednesday, so my bad. I'm not gonna go off of but this is starting to get really interesting, and it's gonna be interesting to watch how this all moves forward. But Chris Godwin obviously torn ACL. I think he's out for the season for Tampa Bay. They're getting Antonio Brown back. So this is going to get really interesting to see kind of how Tampa Bay moves forward. Tom Brady throwing the iPad and then telling a New Orleans Saints opposing coach something kind of naughty. I was like, wow, okay, so that was pretty interesting. But Gilbert, I don't know if you saw this. This was pretty funny. So obviously in that Colts Patriots game, I feel like they were kind of like the Chargers and the Chiefs, like, hey, we know we're gonna play you guys again. We're gonna see you guys again. I don't know if you saw this, but this caught my eye and low-key had me laughing a little bit. This is a new way to stop sharing. Hold on. This to me is a new way of trash talking, I guess, but look at this. Here we go. Look, it says Carson Wentz accuses Matthew Judon of questioning his ability to reproduce.
What?
So like in the article, huh?
What does he say though?
In the article, it says blah blah blah. So this came after Judon shoved Wentz in the head and neck area while Wentz was on the ground, but apparently Judon's offense wasn't physical at all. So what did Judon say? Don't need to go into specifics, obviously, but when a man's ability to reproduce is being questioned, and then there's some extracurriculars, guys' hands need to be at their sides, Wentz said. Let's just say when that happens, you can get pretty riled up. So, like, the way I kind of understand it, like, we're kind of back in kindergarten, and guys need to have their hands at their sides because I guess guys are getting pretty handsy from what I understood from that. But that's a new way of trash talking, I guess, Gilbert. I didn't get the memo.
I guess, I like how he kind of put it there without giving too much details. Ability to reproduce. Yeah, that's definitely a new one. Right? I have not heard that before.
I mean, hey, if this is the way we're going, that'll be that. I don't know how you're gonna be able to find people, but that's gonna be interesting. All right, Gilbert, let's go to week 16. Let's pick some of these games. Let's see. This is a good one. Huh?
Let's do it.
All right. 49ers at Titans.
Yeah, that has implications for the AFC picture.
Man, I remember everybody wanted Trey Lance, and now Jimmy G's actually playing well. They're playing good. George Kittle is healthy. I mean, that's an interesting dynamic the way they're playing right now.
It's in Nashville.
It's in Nashville Thursday night.
Oh, that's actually a good Thursday.
No
night.
AJ Brown, I think. Julio is still, or no, they're considering AJ Brown. Julio is out though, and no Derrick Henry.
That's the tough part. You know what? I'll say because it's a short week and they're at home. I always like taking that. Besides last week, I'll go Titans over the Niners.
Okay, I'm gonna go 49ers. I think the 49ers are battling right now and they need this. So that's on the 23rd. Now, Gilbert, ho, ho, ho. Santa is going to give you 2 games on Christmas Day, Gilbert. I know, well, you're going to be traveling, but still, you're going to get 2 games on Christmas Day. What do you think? Browns at Packers. I'm going to go Packers.
Yeah, that's an easy one. Packers.
Okay. Saturday night game, Colts at Cardinals, Gilbert. The Colts are right there and they have the 5th seed. Chargers have the 6th.
That's big.
Cardinals are reeling a little bit. No DeAndre Hopkins. It's kind of been a problem for Kyler Murray as of late.
Arizona at home?
Yes, sir.
I think they need this win because they've lost 3 in a row, maybe, or 2, I forget. So I'll go Cardinals.
I'm gonna go with you. I think the Cardinals, they know they need this one and they're gonna get it. And besides, they have a good defensive line, so they should be able to kind of slow down Jonathan Taylor a little bit. Next game, Gilbert, Rams at Vikings. So nobody's playing at SoFi this weekend.
Yeah. Okay. I think the Vikings might want it a little more. They're the 7th seed. They're at home. I'll go Vikings.
Damn it. I'm going to go Vikings as well. I think they're playing.
You would never pick the Rams. I'm not surprised.
Oh, my God. There it is. No, I just think the Vikings are really right there fighting. I know the Rams they're fighting for the division, but I think that the Vikings have a very good receiving core, and I think there's going to be a little bit of trash talking between Jalen Ramsey and Justin Jefferson. So, all right, Gilbert, Bills at Patriots.
Yeah, that's a big one. Is that still a Sunday game?
Yeah, it's in New England.
They just played 2 weeks ago. Man, that is a toughie. I'll say the Bills are motivated after the Patriots ran all over them, so I'll go Bills.
Damn it. All right, you pick them. We have to separate. I'm going to pick the Patriots.
All right.
For that game. Let's see. Ravens at Bengals, Gilbert.
This is a good week. Wow.
Yeah.
Geez. I don't know about Lamar Jackson's status. I'm gonna go Bengals right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Bengals as well. I think that they need to I you know what? I was impressed with the quarterback from Baltimore, Huntley.
Tyler Huntley, right?
Tyler Huntley. I was really impressed with him. So I think he's earning himself a paycheck obviously for somebody to trade for him in the offseason. I think somebody's really going to be impressed with him. You know what? And this is kind of Tyrod Taylor 2.0, not in the way that they play, but Joe Flacco was the quarterback. Tyrod was the backup. Tyrod obviously gets traded, I think, to Cleveland. So this could be another situation where Lamar's a starter. They have a good backup, and that backup ends up getting traded somewhere else.
Yeah, you think he could be a starter somewhere?
Huh?
You think he could be a starter somewhere?
He's better than anything Carolina has.
That is true.
I'm just being honest. The 1:00 games kind of suck. Oh, here we go. 2 of them. Broncos at Raiders, Gilbert. Both of them are still kind of in the mix for a playoff spot.
Yeah.
It's at Raiders.
The Raiders won too.
Yeah.
Let's see.
It's going to be Drew Lock at quarterback.
Yeah, I just remember that. So I'm going Raiders.
I'm going to go Raiders as well. Let's see. Steelers at Chiefs.
Ooh. Chiefs.
I'm gonna go Chiefs. I'd be surprised if the and then the rest of oh, here we go. This one's interesting. Well, I'll give you both of no, I'll give you one of them. Dolphins at Saints, Gilbert. That's the Monday night game. And I think that game's interesting because both teams are still kind of fighting for a playoff spot. I think the Dolphins, everybody's so impressed. Oh, the Dolphins have won 6 in a row. Yeah, they've played all these slap dicks. Like, it hasn't been really any impressive victories on their margin. No, I'm serious. Let me go through them. I am not impressed with the Dolphins at all. I mean, they're barely beating these teams too. Let's see. They got creamed. They got creamed by the Bills and the Raiders. They lost to the Colts. Okay, they got destroyed by the Buccaneers. They lost to the Jaguars. Okay, so they've beaten the Falcons. No, they lost to the Falcons. When's this winning streak started? Okay, they beat the Dolphins. They beat the Texans. They beat the Ravens, but that was when the Ravens were kind of loopy. They beat the Jets. They beat the Panthers, and they beat the Giants, and they beat the Jets again. Come on, get out of here! Like, they're not a real team. Come on,
Taking care of business at least.
Yeah. If
Yeah,
I
but
had
I'm
that
not.
kind of schedule at the end, I'd
Nobody's calling
be.
them like a contender or anything, but
Oh, you'd be surprised.
no, no,
Um,
I'm not one of them. But I'll say
I'm
they'll
going
keep
New
it
Orleans.
rolling though, and they'll beat the Saints. The Saints or whatever. I know
No,
they
New
beat the
Orleans,
Buccaneers, but it's like,
bro. Taysom Hill.
uh,
Didn't you see their defense against the damn Tampa Bay Buccaneers? They were pretty impressive.
yeah, but I don't know. I don't like the quarterback situation there.
I don't like it either on either team.
I like Tua better though. Dolphins keep it rolling.
Yeah, no. So there you go. Well, those are our picks locked in. So do you want to discuss it or you don't want to discuss it?
You want to, so fine.
No, I'm just wondering.
I just want to say that I did not watch it, but because it was a viral moment, I saw the knockout. Yes, Fernando. I know where you're going.
Did you see the Darren Williams Frank Gore thing or no?
I protested.
You saw the clip?
A little bit. I saw that he fell out the ring, but I couldn't watch this thing. It was not my interest.
Hey, I don't know if it was just me. Darren Williams looked huge.
He's a basketball player. You got to keep in mind, football players are not built like basketball players. Well, height wise.
Well, yeah, but I just thought Darren Williams looked bigger than Frank Gore almost. Like, I was like, dang, like he's big.
Darren Williams was like 6'4", man. He was a big point guard.
You know who I'd love to see? You know who I'd love to see fight? Mike Bibby. Remember Mike Bibby?
Yeah, he's pretty swole. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to see Mike Bibby fight. But I mean, I can't take any of this seriously when he's up there, like when Jake Paul's up there, like, oh, Usman, Conor McGregor, like Masvidal, like I'll knock any of you guys out. Did you see all the antics? Like I think it was who was it? The one that Nate Diaz, who he smacked some drink out of some guy's hand, like Masvidal almost getting into a fight with like some redheaded dude on like what is this?
I think a lot of fighters see a payday in Jake Paul and think, okay, he's not a real boxer. We could beat this guy. We get an easy payday. Like, I'm sure Tyron Woodley made the most money of his career fighting Jake Paul twice because the UFC doesn't pay. Oh yeah, the UFC doesn't pay that well. Boxing, there's more money, and it was put on by Showtime, so I'm sure there was money there too. But yeah, if you're some of these UFC fighters, you're thinking, okay, let me go for a day over here and maybe knock out this YouTube guy for an easy paycheck. Let me kind of poke the bear. And the other one is kind of annoying is Le'Veon Bell. Like, Le'Veon Bell, nobody wants to see you fight Jake Paul. Come on, I don't want to see that. I'd rather see some of these UFC fighters. But even that, I don't want to see. Like, you are in boxing. Go fight a real boxer, somebody who does this for a living every single day. Because not to disrespect the UFC fighters, but they can't box. They don't have combinations. They don't practice this art of boxing every single day. It's very frustrating for me as a boxing person to watch them throw punches. But they're great, when it comes to maybe some striking here, a 1-2. They're great at grappling on the mat, chokeholds. They're great at that, but that's not boxing. So, it'll be nice if Jake Paul fights somebody like a Usman would be nice. Okay, Usman's an elite guy, but we love Nate Diaz and we love Jorge Masvidal, but these guys are on the way out. They're not in the prime. Like, you want to see Jake Paul be tested, go fight somebody at the best of the best on the UFC side or on the boxing side. Just fight somebody average so we could see how skilled you are in boxing.
Give me
Yeah,
a year.
go fight Fernando. But
Give
it's
me a
just
year. I'll
funny.
lose all that weight.
We'll see, Fernando. But it's funny that now Tyron Woodley saying like, "Oh, we gotta this Jake Paul guy. We gotta treat him with some respect now. Like he's a good fighter." I'm like, get out of here. He just got knocked out. That's why you're saying that. Um, Overall, it was just I won't curse, but it was a show with another word before that. And I wasn't a fan of this. The first one was cool to kind of see, oh, what do you got in Tyron Woodley? But after Tyron Woodley did nothing, why would I watch it again? You know.
Bro, it was a hug fest. We watched.
Yeah,
I was watching with Little Daniel, and I actually had both of my godsons here. I had Little Daniel and I had Tommy here with me, and we were watching the fight. And like we couldn't believe how much of a hug fest it was in the first 2 rounds. Like they were just hugging and hugging. And I'm like, okay, dude, like come on, like start landing some blows. In the third or fourth round, they started opening it up a little bit. I don't know if you saw this, but Tyron Woodley kind of had like I don't know, like he goes and he grabs Jake Paul and he's about to slam him down. Like he almost like he literally like threw him to the ground. And I was like, oh crap, the UFC in him was like coming out. I was getting ready for him to go on top and start kind of elbowing him in the head. But it was a funny moment, to be honest.
I wouldn't mind saying that. But I don't know, Fernando. There's nothing there that's entertaining me.
No, I'm with you. I was kind of bored at one point. Like I remember I kicked my feet up and I was kind of watching. I was looking through my phone and I was kind of like, dude, this is boring. Like, why can't you guys do anything? Like, come on, like have him fight somebody else. Like, I would honestly like I would take the Usman, I would take the Masvidal, I would watch Nate Diaz is a scrapper. I don't know if he could just do boxing, but the one I really do want to see, and I want to see it because I just want him to shut him up, is Canelo Alvarez. And I know Canelo's not going to waste his time with him, but I wish like a Brinks truck would show up with like a spit ton of cash and they would just be like, okay, fight him. But Jake Paul's not going to fight Canelo. Why? Because he knows Canelo would knock him out in a round or two, and that would be it. Like his entity, his aura, his all this stuff would all be gone, and he knows
that's a real boxer right there. And you know, in some way, I give Jake Paul credit because I want to see more. What do you got? Like, every little test that you have, I want to see more now. But it felt like this part 2 was just like, we're stalling here. What are we doing here? Like, you're not proving anything to me. But I will be a sucker though if he fights Masvidal and Nate Diaz, because that will be a promotional fest. These guys love the trash talk, and they're actually strikers. They're not boxing strikers, but they're actually gonna throw hands. Unlike Tyron Woodley, who never throws his hands, which is very frustrating to watch him fight. But I would like to see that. It wouldn't like really prove too much to me, but it would be entertaining. But now you fight a decent boxer. That's my let's see what you got. But I don't know. You got me talking about this, whatever.
What about Conor?
You know, Conor's a better striker than, you know, I guess I could say Nate Diaz and also Masvidal. Conor doesn't have that much cardio, so I don't know if he doesn't knock. And Jake Paul's a big dude. Jake Paul's pretty big, so if he doesn't get him out in a couple rounds, he's gonna be tired.
But why if Conor's such a like, if these guys are like professional athletes, like why is their car like I've always wondered that about him, because I remember in the McGregor Mayweather fight, they were in like the 4th, 5th round, and he kind of took it to Mayweather for a little bit, but then he kind of got gassed. Like, what is it about him that he can't keep it up? Like, what is it? What would you put your finger on?
Fight, boxing, then it's a different sport. He wasn't used to it. And longer rounds too. Well, not longer rounds, but like there was more than 5 rounds. It's 12 rounds. You're going 10. He's probably gassed. But keep in mind also, this guy's he's like the richest athlete in the world. Like you don't have the same motivation. You don't work as hard. You don't have the same desire. So you lose some of the cardio. You know, you kind of go off of your power, your athleticism that you have, and you kind of just wing it. So that could be it. But I don't know. We're spending too much time on this, Fernando.
The spit talking between Nate Diaz and Jake Paul or McGregor, Jake Paul or whatever, like that's what I would be all for. Like the pre stuff, like the crap talking, all that. Like I think it would just be like fun to listen to. But yeah, okay, I'm gonna. You know what? Let's go to the interview. It's Christmas time, Gilbert. Ho ho ho!
Do it.
Let's go to Chris Harris Jr. Our next guest has accomplished many feats in his NFL career. He's a 4-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro, a Super Bowl champion, and he was named one of the best players of the 2010s. We're, of course, talking about Chargers cornerback Chris Harris Jr. Chris, how are you? How have these last few days been since that Thursday night game?
Yeah. Oh man, it's been good to get some rest, get some little couple of days away from the game. But we had a good practice yesterday to get us back in the flow, and try to get that bad taste out of your mouth. You want to get, only way to get that taste out of your mouth is getting back on that field. So to be able to do that, get some practice in, and get on to the Texans, it felt good yesterday.
Chris, I guess kind of describe the game, the atmosphere of Thursday Night Football against the Chiefs, overtime. And you said it, Chris, you want to see this team, a third time, or you predicted a third game in the playoffs. Overall, did it feel like a playoff game? And also, does it feel like the Chargers are on the same level as the Chiefs? Or getting closer because you beat them once and you took them to overtime the second time?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're right there. We play it's really that 8-minute mark. That's really where we didn't finish strong. That's when we kind of let Mahomes take over the game. And we feel confident, we have DJ in there being able to handle Kelsey. He's one guy that we know that can handle him, along with Vato being able to give him, make him work for everything. He's going to get his catches, but you got to make him work. And they just came alive in that last 8 minutes. And that's just something that we know we can fix. We can tighten that up. And, it's up front and in the secondaries both. When you play against Patrick Mahomes, you have to play true team pass defense. The D lineman being able to keep him contained, keep him from because he makes a lot of his big throws on the run. Keeping him in that pocket, and then us having good coverage, because a lot of times we had great coverage, but he was able to extend the plays and be able to find open guys. So that's something that we understand. We got to be able to play team pass defense, finish that game, and we feel very confident that we can play with anybody in the AFC.
Yeah, and Chris, the Chiefs are the number one seed. You guys played them really close, and like I mentioned, you guys beat them already once, so that's a good measuring stick for you guys. And I know it's still 3 games to go for the postseason, but do you find yourself constantly looking at the standings? It changed a lot. I think you guys are number 6 right now, but are you always kind of watching who's doing what and doing this during this time of year?
Oh yeah, I mean that's what Coach Staley does every week. He just shows us where we're at. Pretty much the truth. He calls it the truth, He just gives it to us straight and lets us know where we're at. And we understand that we've been in this situation before. It's been a roller coaster year. So, we've been up and down in the standings this year. And we know that just win one game can put you right back up there in a good position. So the way it's looking in the AFC, that is going to come down to the last week. Every week is going to count. Everybody's pretty close in the rankings. I mean, their record is pretty close, everybody. So these last 3 weeks are very important, and we got to approach them like a playoff game each week.
Chris, in what ways do you feel like players have grown in Brandon Staley's defense? It seems like players are starting to kind of get into rhythm after that slow start. You guys have been slowing down, stopping the run a lot better. It just seems like you guys are kind of getting in a good flow. You've been playing safety and cornerback. How have you liked this system?
Yeah. I think it's been great. My position, I got to cover everything. We play a lot of man. I got to make a lot of adjustments with the safeties, with the outside corners, linebackers. So one thing about Coach Staley's defense is that everybody has to be connected. If everybody's not connected, one person could just mess up the defense. It's about team defense, everybody doing their job. And that's how it is. And I think we've been more connected these past 4 weeks. Guys in the secondary, linebackers, everybody together. So we just got to continue to do that, continue to improve. I think one issue is that we've just had so much shuffling. We haven't had very consistent groups. Whether it's COVID, injuries, things like that. So we've been able to have to fight through it this year and be able to get to where we're at. And I still think we're in the top 10 in the pass defense. So, so to still be there where we're at, I think that's great. especially with the schedule that we've had. I think we've had one of the toughest schedules in this season. So, I mean, we've seen everybody, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Chris, like I mentioned earlier, you were an all-decade player for the 2010s. I've heard people call you the greatest slot corner in NFL history. That's a position that's
Yeah.
become very important in the last 10 years with passing increasing more in games. Would you agree with
Yeah.
that you're the best slot corner in NFL history?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think so, man. Just being able to play man, just eliminate that middle of the field playing man, playing all different positions, being versatile. Not only just playing the slot, playing outside and in. My era was a lot of motioning. We had more motioning than the era of like Rondé Barber and things like that. But I've talked to those guys. And they'll tell you too. Rondé will tell you he didn't have to do a lot of things that I was asked to do in my career in the slot. Even though he might have better numbers picks wise, I was just able to just eliminate the whole middle of the field during my era. So I definitely always gonna take that notch because just the era of football that we played in, the receivers, the offenses definitely have gotten way better.
Yeah.
And the rules way harder,
That's a story for a different time.
Yeah.
Chris, this is the time of giving. It's Christmas. Can you gift Gilbert and I at least your favorite Peyton Manning and favorite Phillip Rivers story that you have?
Yeah. Favorite Peyton Manning story. Oh man. Just one day, man, I can't remember. It was a cold game. It was gonna be a cold game. And all week I see this dude just putting his hand in a bucket of ice. I'm like, what is this guy doing? Like, it's already cold outside at practice in Denver, and this guy's still putting his hand in ice and going out there throwing the football. I'm like, this is the ultimate preparing right here. But I thought that was pretty funny. I'm like, I guess you can't prepare too much, watching Peyton Manning. Phillip Rivers, man, I think one game we're playing we're in the soccer stadium,
Yeah.
and I'm guarding Keenan, and he tries to run like the route, the routes they're running now doesn't even make sense, He's running to the middle of the field, and then he's trying to come back out, and Keenan, he always has a lot of sauce on his route, so this guy grabs my face mask though, and my head just goes like this. So out of nowhere, of course, I'm gonna grab him then, because I can't even see him. And then, of course, they call the penalty on me. And Phillip Rivers is like, the penalty is on Christopher Harris Jr. Christopher Harris Jr. Don't say his number, say his full name. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get you now. So I think I end up getting a pick on him later in that game. So. I always come back to get Phillip, man.
So who caught that interception? It wasn't number 25. It was Christopher
Harris Jr.
no middle name, Chris?
Man, no middle name, man. Right after my dad, man. I always get that question too. But Phillip, man, we got a lot of stories. I remember being on the field. Derek Wolf was like, I'm gonna eat your kids. I'm like, man, Wolf. Oh, even Phillip is like, oh man, okay, I'm not gonna say anything. But the thing was he was spooked for the rest of the game. Like I think that was like around 2015. I think that was Super Bowl defense then.
I have to ask you real quick. That game, 24. You guys are up 24-0. Or the Chargers are up 24-0 on you guys. What was said in that? I have to ask. What was said in that locker room at halftime? That you guys came in. You guys came out with some energy, like different energy. You guys had pick sixes, fumbles returned for touchdowns. What was said in the locker room at halftime?
Man, we were just under so much pressure. I mean, when you play in Denver, it's a lot of pressure playing in Denver. And we had Peyton Manning, and I think we started out slow. We started out pretty bad. I think we had won one game. I think we were 1-4 at the time. So. We were chasing, we were struggling at that time with Peyton Manning. It's his first year there. We're 1-4, and we're on the road, and we're getting killed right now. He's threw a pick six. I think the Jam got a pick six. Yeah, so it's, we had a lot of heat. So and I think Coach Fox has got into us. It's time to turn it on, and we was able to make some key plays on defense. along with Peyton, he just got hot, we've seen those comebacks happen a lot, with Peyton.
Hey, Chris. Hopefully, I'm not gonna get you too emotional here, because we're talking about the Broncos, man. Tough for you to lose your friend Demaryius Thomas. Any good memories from Demaryius and playing with him in those days?
Man, it's really sad, to lose a guy like DT. Great teammate, hard worker. I've never seen a guy work so hard. He was banged up a lot, but he was able to just fight through it for the team. A real team guy. And plenty of stories. Being in Vegas with this guy. Everywhere. We've been everywhere with him. So seeing just his mom. Being able to come back with his mom. Being a part of that. That was huge, So just seeing his life come to an end so fast, it was a wake up call for me, for me, to definitely hug my friends and families, let them know you love them. Time is short, so you never know what can happen. And with DT, man, it was definitely sad, but I got tons of stories, man, with DT. I can go all day, but. He was just a great worker, great teammate, and you could always count on him, man. He was a guy you could count on, and worked really extremely hard. Very selfish guy, so it was definitely sad to see him go.
Yeah, it was definitely a sad situation with DT, but I love seeing all the nice stories and the positive things. I can't find anybody say anything bad about this guy, so that kind of tells you he did it the right way. But Chris, shifting over to maybe some Charger stories. One thing I remember about you when you first joined the team, nobody really knew about Justin Herbert. We were kind of like, okay, is this guy any good or not? And I think one day you weren't able to practice in training camp, and I think you were in that the recovery field. I think with Kenneth Murray, and you're telling Kenneth, like talking his ear out, like, this guy is good. This guy has an arm strength. He has a bullet. He's gonna be the real deal. And it's like August 2020. I'm thinking, like, how does Chris know already? And it turns out you were right. Justin Herbert is doing a lot of great things. Rookie of the year, probably Pro Bowl this year. And I hate to kind of compare guys, but I've heard you kind of mention comparisons to Peyton Manning and kind of the way he prepares. But for you guys you faced over your career, where does kind of Herbert really remind you of?
Oh man, I mean, a mix with Peyton and Tom. His arm strength. The way he just bullets it is more like Tom. But just the way he prepares. And the way guys connect to him, as a quarterback, as a teammate, guys love playing for him, having that energy for him. That's like the Peyton type, that's the Peyton atmosphere right there. And I think he's definitely improved. I knew day one. I mean, I called it day one. I told everybody on defense, you can ask Darwin, K9, you can ask everybody. First day, I'm like, I don't think Tyrod gonna be able to keep this guy behind, because this guy is the real deal. And he was already throwing bullets and dimes all over the field when first day. So I knew it was gonna be hard to get him off. But being able to see his growth, throwing on a run, play action, throwing shotgun, is really what's his weakness. You really only thing I would say is he could probably run a little bit more, like some other guys, or learn how to do the Aaron Rodgers buy a little bit more time thing, because he can do that. That's things he can learn, to do. So, I'm just nitpicking, because he's pretty much A+ on everything, but yeah.
Oh, did you guys listen to any of that noise coming out of the draft about him? And some people were saying, "Oh, he's a potential bust. He doesn't like talking in team, or he's not a leader. He's not this." Did you guys listen to that, or were you guys players more like, let's wait until he gets in here and we see what kind of a player we got?
Yeah, I think that's what you want to do as being in the league this long. Just wait and see. You got to wait and see what type of player he is, type of attitude he has, and. I've been around first draft picks, Paxton Lynch, and, so I've seen it both ways, how a guy can come in, and Herbert, he came in very professional, came in ready to work. He came in ready, mentally, physically, ready to come into, he looked NFL ready. So seeing this guy, we had no doubts that he was going to be an impact player.
Chris, when you look back at Super Bowl 50, What has to happen for a
Yeah.
team to really take that next ascension, that level, get to that next level to be able to go in and win the Super Bowl and be able to do that? Because
Yeah.
I mean, we Gilbert and I have never done that, so we have to ask the expert. We have to ask you
Yeah.
what has to happen.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I'm always going to say it starts with defense. Of course, you can have a mindset to where you want to have Justin to save you all the time, but that can't be our mindset as a defense. We got to have our mindset that we're going to close the games. We've been able to close games this year. We just didn't close the Chiefs game, but we've done it before. We've seen Herbert close games before, but as a defensive minded guy, we don't want to have that mentality. We want to go close the game. We want to have that mentality, and that's what you got to have going in the playoffs. We got to be playing good, going there. And I think we played a great game up until that 8-minute mark. Being able to, I think Mahomes had less than 200 going up into that point. We were on them, so just being able to finish that game, and so it's just having that mentality that you got to finish the game on D. And you got to pack your defense in the playoffs, man. You got to pack your defense and special teams because it's going to be harder for Justin in the playoffs. It is. It's going to be harder on the offense in the playoffs. It's just how it is. And so your defense got to be ready to go.
Chris, we love listening about recruiting, college recruiting stories and stuff like that. You have one of the most unique stories in NFL history, being an undrafted rookie. How many scholarship offers did you have coming out of high school, and what made you choose Kansas?
Yeah. Oh, man, I think after my senior year in football, I only had one offer with Kansas. And from there, I was like, man, I might as well take it. They got Keith to leave. He's an All-American corner. So it's proof that you can go there and be an All-American at the position that I played. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going. So I hopped on there. After I got offered by KU, then I started getting like Tulsa. I'm like, Tulsa, I'm right here. Y'all offered me after I was committed. So Iowa State. I probably had like 10 other schools that jumped on afterwards, but I was already committed, and going there, being able to start a true freshman, start opposite to leave, win an Orange Bowl. I think I made a good decision going there for sure.
That's loyalty right there, Chris. You got the first offer and you stuck to it.
I mean, that's all I had. I had to wait that long. A lot of guys, I had teammates already that had like 50 offers, and guys already chose where they're going, and I'm all state in both sports. I'm just confused, like, where's my schools, So, man, Gino and them came down, and I just hopped on right there. And he actually offered me watching me play basketball. He didn't even see me play football. So just having those guys come and get me during the basketball season, gave me even more faith to rock with him. And, unfortunately, he didn't get to stay with me all 4 years. That coaching staff, I think that's why that attributed to me going undrafted, not having that guy to really push for you in a draft, to really show what I can do, kind of got lost in that shuffle. But I was grateful for Mangino for sure.
If I'm not mistaken, Aqib was your corner start opposite for the Broncos too, right?
Yes. So we actually,
zone.
we won the Orange Bowl in college and then able to win a Super Bowl together in NFL.
Man, that's incredible. That's an incredible story. I mean, getting able to do that, but that's awesome, Chris. We appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Chris, do you speak any Spanish? Before I let you go?
Nah, man. I need to learn some.
well, our show is called Compas on the Beat. Compas stands for buddy, for friend.
Compas on the beat. Okay.
Yeah. So compa means friend. So we appreciate you jumping on compa with us. We appreciate that. Thank you so much, Chris.
Oh, yeah, no problem, man. Thanks for having me.
What did I say? I told you that was going to be a great interview with Chris Harris Jr. And what a great touch by Fernando for wearing the Santa hat. Not like that Scrooge and that Grinch. Alberto! I better see your Christmas spirit for una más, Alberto. Christmas is almost here, and una más has already arrived. Oh, and I hope Fernando has some Christmas music for Herbert. Now let's get to Una Más.
Gilbert, Dan and Dago said it. He's our perfect hype man. He hyped it up. He said it. That was a great interview with Chris. I had a lot of fun talking to him. And to speak to like and I'll call him, I think, a legend like that. Like that's always a lot of fun to get to kind of pick at somebody's brain like that. And Chris obviously is one of the best to really learn from. I mean, every time when we talk to him in pressers and stuff, we always learn so much from him.
Yeah, that's why we requested to get him on the show because yeah, he's done it on the NFL, but he's also very entertaining and great to talk to. So one thing I do miss about the open locker rooms, I wonder how Chris would have been with us in the locker room. I think he would have been talking to us at length and giving us information and I guess taking care of the beat reporter. So we missed out on that, but we got him here on the podcast. So that was a good a little give and take there.
100%. Now, Gilbert, this is my favorite time of the year. I love the Christmas time. I love everything that happens around Christmas. I'm going to start making my pound cakes today because it is our day off. I'm going to start making my pound cakes. I'm going to deliver them to aunts and family members and stuff like that. So I'm very excited about that.
Are you the Thea of your family, Fernando?
No, I mean, and you know what? It's a very sentimental for me, the pound cake, because I'm going to be honest with you. My grandmother used to make it. So right around this time, like she would make a lot of pound cakes, deliver them to family members and stuff like that. And I remember she taught me how to make it because I was really I've always liked the kitchen. I've always been really all about it. Like I used to make Dan and Dago breakfast, or like I'd always throw like there'd only be like 5 ingredients in the house, and somehow I'd be able to make something really good out of it. So I remember my grandma, she taught me how to make her pound cake, and like towards the end, like I would just she would sit there with me, talking with me, and I'd be the one making the pound cakes and stuff, and like literally it was like a machine. Like I'd be throwing them in, coming out, all this stuff. So it has like a huge sentimental value to me because I remember my grandmother and all that. So I still have her recipe with her handwriting. It's funny, I showed her handwriting to a couple of relatives. I'm like, can you read that? And they're like, no. It's like, it's literally cursive, but like that crazy cursive that a lot of people can't read. I can read it, so I know exactly what a recipe is all about. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I love doing that, but I also love this time because I get to watch my favorite movies, Gilbert. And I don't know about you. I want you to come up with your three favorite top 3 Christmas movies. Can you hit me with that right now? Do you watch any Christmas movies around this time, or you not about it?
I actually was scrolling through my TV the other day, or I think on Saturday or Sunday, and I was watching Home Alone 2 because it was on.
You're speaking my language.
Because you don't watch Succession, but
Fuller.
Kieran McCulkin is in that.
Fuller.
Yeah. Oh, so you knew? Okay.
Yeah. I know who's Fuller.
Yeah. So people show me pictures on Twitter, and then I finally saw the movie. Like, oh, there he is. Like,
bro. I don't want to sleep with Fuller. He wets the bed.
and then at the end, he's like, "Oh, it's Christmas." And then
exactly.
He's like,
wake
jumps in the
up,
bed.
everybody!
Yeah, there you go.
Christmas.
You know the movie well. So watching Home Alone 2 just for him was pretty cool.
You should watch it because it's a great movie. So you gave me one movie. All right.
Oh, well, and Turbo Man. I like that too. Yeah.
Bro, you're speaking my language.
That is one of my favorite. I used to watch it all the time as a kid. The Mailman and Schwarzenegger just fighting was the best.
Dude, my top 3 are, my number 1 is Home Alone. Home Alone 1 and 2, obviously I put that together. The Santa Claus. I love the movie The Santa Claus with Tim Allen. Yeah. And then obviously I love Jingle All the Way. Jingle All the Way is one of the most underrated. Huh?
I forgot the name of it. Jingle All the Way.
Yeah. Jingle All the Way is one of the most underrated Christmas movies out there. I love the movie. The whole thing, like, it's just incredible. But I'm all about it. So yeah, you're speaking my language. I loved it. I'm all about it. So there you go. Those are my 3 top Christmas movies. Don't give me that whole Die Hard stuff. I'm kind of like, like I get why people like it, but I'm actually not the biggest fan of Die Hard, but I respect people for liking it.
Not a Christmas movie for you.
No. But Gilbert, real quick, before we get out of here though, I do want to give you my avocado review of Spider-Man No Way Home.
I'm actually looking forward to this. Okay. But don't give me spoilers.
No, I'm not. I would never do that. Bro, I felt like I was watching a football game because of the cheering, the excitement. It like raises your heart level. It drops it, boom, boom. Like it is hyped. Like so my top three, before last Friday. But shout out to Brandon Staley, by the way, for having his press conference early for me to get that out of the way and be able to go watch Spider-Man. Shout out, coach, to you. Because of you, I had a smile on my face that day because I got to watch Spider-Man. so, so obviously my top three movies were The Dark Knight, the one with Heath Ledger. It was that one. Then it was it was Captain America Civil War. Then it was Avengers of Infinity War. Well, Avengers Infinity War is now dropped down to number 4 because I like The Dark Knight, this Spider-Man movie, and then Captain America Civil War. Man, this movie was nuts. It had everything. I loved it. I gave it 15 freaking avocados out of 10. It was amazing. I was so hyped. Oh my, Gilbert, you need to go watch it. Like I was that high. I'm surprised you haven't seen any spoilers on TikTok or anywhere.
No, because I guess my feed doesn't think I care for stuff like this. So
mine. So I didn't open TikTok for 2 days, and then the night after the night that I saw the movie, I was scrolling through and it spoiler. I'm like, dude, I'm so lucky I didn't open this app for 2 days. But Gilbert, you need to go watch it. If you have not seen Spider-Man, you need to go watch it because it was so awesome. It was amazing. I'm all for it. I was hyped for it. I'm all about it, Gilbert.
Your avocado rating sounds like it might taste good. Like if it was like if this movie make avocados, maybe I will enjoy it, and I hate avocados.
No. You need to go watch it. Watch it tonight, the day off. I mean, you should go watch it. I mean, I'm sure you'll enjoy it.
Wrap this up sooner. Let's go.
All right.
Actually, I might
you know what?
Think about it.
You know what? Everybody, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Thank you guys again so much for rocking with us. Enjoy time with your family. Enjoy time with your loved ones. Have fun. Stay safe, but enjoy this holiday season. These are the best times to be around family, to be around the ones that loved you, and that's what we're gonna do. That's what we do. We love you guys. Thank you guys so much for listening to Compas. Gilbert, I appreciate your friendship. I appreciate our partnership. And I just appreciate you, bro. I love you, bro. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
But do you appreciate it enough to give me a pound cake? How about that?
Oh, he wants one. Gilbert, you have just been added to the list.
Yes.
You will be getting a pound cake. There you go.
Okay.
Do you want it tomorrow or do you want it Thursday? When do you want
I have no rush over here. I will gladly take your food whenever.
I will be making one
right
for you.
Back at you. I appreciate your friendship as well. And I appreciate one thing that I enjoyed from this year. And I know it's not New Year's yet. I won't neglect Christmas like that and look forward. But it was doing this podcast for you. So I am merry, thankful Christmas for that, whatever.
There you go. Oh my God, you just had to butcher it. But thank you guys again so much for rocking with us. Yes, we will be having Compas on the Beat, Chargers, Texans post-game reaction. We will still be having, obviously I said reaction. We will still be having the preview. So yes, we'll still have all that. But thank you guys so much. Happy holidays. And for now, ho, ho, ho. Gilbert, ¿sabes qué? Vámonos.
Ya nos vamos. Pues, vámonos.